Hi Sketchlab friends, today we're drawing something super cute and refreshing, a Kawaii style 3D Slurpee using Posca Markers. So we're going to draw 2 dots, this is going to determine the width of our cylinder, and we're going to go ahead and draw a foreshortened circle. I want you to do this lightly though. This is a construction line today, so we're going to be erasing part of this. Now we're going to add some thickness for the lip of the cup. So I'm going to curve a line. You can see on the left hand side to the left, right to the right. Let's match this curve. So that's a key detail right there. When we're drawing these cylinders, we want to match those curves. We're drawing 2 lines down and they're going to taper down, meaning those lines are going to get closer together. And the same thing at the bottom of this cup, we want to match this curve down. We're going to go ahead and add another little curve down for the base of the cup. And this is going to be another construction line. We're just going to start off with half of a circle. And this is the construction line I was talking about. We're going to go ahead and erase this off. So as artists, sometimes we build with shapes, we build with forms, and we use construction lines. And this is a little bit of overlapping here, this little dollop of slushy, Slurpee. What do you call it? A Slurpee? A slushy? Is it both? You can see I'm just going to kind of clean up a little bit of these construction lines here. For the straw, we're doing 2 dots for shortened circle, and then we're drawing 2 lines down. Add a little pattern on the straw. I'm going to clean up some of those construction lines. So sometimes I have students, they get really frustrated. They don't want to erase and they just throw their paper away. And as artists, guys, we are always making adjustments. And that's just part of the process. As artists, you want to stand back from your work and we make adjustments, we erase. So when you're penciling in your artwork, draw lightly so it's easier to trace those lines. So I have this circle template. It's going to help me draw these circles for the Kawaii style eyes. This is a key detail for Kawaii style characters. And if you don't have a circle template, you could probably use a bottle cap or just freehand draw it. And inside of these eyes, there's 2 white dots. One is going to be larger and one is going to be smaller. And these are white highlights inside of the eyes. So Kawaii style, this is a characteristic of Japanese cartoons and comics, which is manga and anime. Work on a little expression here for the mouth. Almost looks like a letter W there. Okay, let's curve a line down. So you guys see that theme? All these lines that curve down are all matching. This is going to be a little pattern we're going to put on our cup today. So a fun Slurpee fact is that Slurpees were invented on accident. So in the 1950s, a soda machine broke, causing the drinks to freeze into a slushy texture. Sometimes this happens in my own refrigerator in my house. When they're in the far back, I'm like, oh, it's a little icy. Another fun fact is that a Slurpee is kept at a chilly 28 degrees. It's just cold enough to stay frozen, but still slushy enough to be drinkable. Alright, so this is a Sharpie marker, and I'm going to go a little bit thicker on my outline, just to add some variation of line weight there. So I have apple green and green Posca paint markers. Start coloring in that Slurpee. I love this apple green. Look at how bright and colorful that is. So by using two different values, it's going to make this appear to be more three-dimensional. So Posca markers are filled with water-based acrylic paint, just like the same paint you can paint with a brush. And we have two options when working with a Posca paint marker. One is we can actually mix the colors on the canvas while they're still wet. And another option is you could let that first layer dry, and then you can go over the top of it with this second color. So you can color mix and you can work in layers. So I'm going to go in again with the apple green. If you do want to get into painting, I have some acrylic on canvas videos where I actually incorporate Posca markers as well. So I use acrylic paint and the Posca paint markers. And going back in with the green, adding in that darker value. Now your paper choice with Posca markers is important, and I'll give you a couple tips. Bristle board is going to be a very good surface. That's what I'm using. It's a very smooth surface. Sometimes with regular sketch paper or multimedia type paper, the nibs on the marker will tend to tear up the paper. And if you're running into that problem, the best thing you could do is the paper is getting torn up is to let it dry. And then once that surface dries, the acrylic paint dries, then it turns into plastic. And then you can go back to coloring over the top of it. If you work over a primed or gessoed surface, that is the ideal way to use these Posca paint markers. So when I use them on canvas, I always put a ground of acrylic paint down first and then go over the top of that. You could do that with your multimedia paper, is just put down some white acrylic paint to put down a base, prime it, and then use your Posca paint markers over the top of that, and you will have no problems with your Posca paint markers tearing up your paper. So this is gray. We're going to add a little bit of a shadow. So I'm going to go ahead at the lip of the cup here. So this is the gray. And then I'm also going to add another gray line underneath the lip of the cup. So in this tutorial, I am not mixing my Posca paint markers on the canvas, but in some of my other Posca paint marker tutorials, I do. So you can actually color mix just like you can with paint. And now I'm going to go in with my two values of purple. I'm going to create a pattern, light purple, dark purple. So if you're enjoying my Posca marker tutorials, you got to check out some of my other ones. I have some cool ones like this axolotl lava lamp, which is pretty awesome. And I also have a lot of cool 3D food Posca Paint Marker tutorials. And as I said, if you want to try your hand at painting, you should check out my acrylic on canvas videos. Check out my playlist. So how do we make our drawings look more 3D? Well, one is you want to draw using forms. So today we use the cylinder and we also use the sphere. So the two forms we're using. And we're also coloring with a little bit of value today. So whenever artists use value, you add depth and dimension to your artwork. If you have any requests for me for my how to draw videos, go ahead and drop it in the comment section. So I'm going in, you can see with the gray, just adding a little bit more to the shadows of this cup here. And this is what I was talking about, is how you can work in layers. So now that that green has dried, you can see I can put the apple green right on top. It does not color mix. I'm going to go in with the gray and add a little bit of shading on the white part of the straw. I'm going to go in with the red, add a little bit more of a shadow there. Alright, and I can see the inside of that straw there. We're going to need to add a little bit of gray, add a little bit of a shadow inside of there. So if you're ready to level up your drawing skills, use my end card. It's going to get you to more of these how to draw 3D with Posca Paint Marker videos. Well, if you love this tutorial, don't forget to also like and subscribe so you never miss a new Posca Marker drawing. It also really helps us support the channel, and it keeps the creativity going. Well, I want to thank you for watching. I'm just going to add a few little touch-ups to the outline here. And as I said, I am going to go back in with a gray Posca Paint Marker at the top of that straw there to add a little bit of shadow. Well, I'll see you in the next for another creative adventure. Bye for now. And make sure you check out the end card and click on that playlist and check out some of these other cool 3D drawing videos.